All right, check it out. In this video, I'm gonna convince you on why, if you're mainly working predominantly with buyers, I'm gonna convince you why transitioning into a listing-based business is gonna help you free up more time and make more money, okay? I'm gonna get right into this video. The first thing I wanna share with you is that if you are making most of your money from buyers, that is okay. I never wanna turn off the faucet that's already running. We need to figure out a way to transition and slowly start adding a listing-based income aspect to your business. We need to figure out a way to start generating seller leads. So that's the first advice I want to ask you, right? On a piece of paper, write down what percent of your business comes from sellers and buyers. I guarantee you that a majority of top producers in the country that have more time and have more ability to focus on scaling their business, meaning making more money every month, every single year, have a majority of their business coming from sellers, okay? And let me tell you why. The reason is that buyers, like if you had a $500,000 deal from a buyer and a $500,000 deal from a seller, it will be significantly less hours to do that deal with a seller. If you're a listing agent and you have a listing, right, and you set the right expectations, and let's say you have a showing agent that can help you with showings, you're spending time making the cold call or doing the initial phone call. You're spending maybe about an hour to 2 hours preparing for the appointment, hour to 2 hour going to the appointment. And then if you can have a representative go to your showings for you, you're not spending many hours doing that. Let's say you spend another 2 to 3 hours negotiating the deal. You go to the inspection because you haven't been able to delegate that yet. Cool, no problem. You'll probably spend 8 to 10 hours doing that deal, right? Maybe less. Once you get really good at delegating and you have a representative go to the inspection and the appraisal, maybe less. All you should be doing as a listing agent is the initial phone call, the initial appointment, setting the expectation, and giving your client updates, negotiating deals with the lender, inspector, buyer's agent, your client, etc. And that is it. Versus when you're working with a buyer, it is a lot more hands-on. You have to send showings, you have to send properties, pick out showings, call listing agents. You're the one that's making the offer. You're not the one reviewing and accepting the offer. That's another key point. And it's a lot of driving to different properties, right? Let's say even if you had a listing and you were showing the same home, you're going to the same property one time, right? But when you're showing a buyer, you're going to many different properties at a time. And the most important activities, guys, to make you understand this better, the most important activities as a realtor is prospecting, like bringing in new business, meeting new people, making new contacts that are potentially going to be your clients and customers, going to presentations, whether it be a buyer consultation or a listing presentation. That activity is the direct acquisition of a new client. That is a very high priority activity. And the third one is negotiating, actually structuring the deal, putting the terms together, making the phone calls to the parties involved, getting the deal hashed out and to the closing table. Those are the three activities that are super important. You want to add a fourth. Getting more referrals from current clients could be a fourth, but that is a form of lead generation and prospecting. Things like going to showings, writing up contracts, sending emails, receiving emails, even putting a signpost in the yard, driving to showings, all you're doing is opening the door and showing them the property. Like, you're the one that has to know how to get the offer accepted, how to answer the questions on the property, but you don't have to be the one opening the door. It is obvious that it will be significantly less work and time and man hours to represent a seller than it is to represent a buyer. Meaning, if there's a finite amount of hours per day, and you obviously maybe don't have a personal assistant yet, maybe you don't have a transaction coordinator or a showing agent or an operation, you only have a certain amount of hours a day to lead generate, negotiate, close deals, and then do all the other operational stuff, which is contract, paperwork, opening the doors for showings, talking to listing agents, reviewing emails, responding to emails, etc. So here's my recommendation to you. If you are full-time working with buyers right now, that is okay. Don't stop that immediately. Add 1 to 2 hours per day where you start learning how to find the best seller leads. I have a ton of videos on this YouTube channel showing you about FSBOs, expired, circle prospects. I show you guys how to find the leads, what systems and softwares to use to organize and call the leads. I walk you through entire videos where you can, learn my scripts, learn how to make the calls. I make the calls for you. I show you the calls. I break down the calls. Dedicate 1 to 2 hours to prospecting sellers, and then actually, instead of just learning, do the thing, make the calls, okay? The easiest way to prospect sellers, and I think the best lead source, if you're like really, really green to this topic, is for sale by owners, undoubtedly by far. But the idea of working at least a 60-40, more preferably a 70-30 split, sellers to buyers, it's going to allow you to be able to scale your business more, right? If I were to start over my career, I started with buyers first, but I quickly transitioned to the sellers. As you get listings and you run open houses with your listings and you sell property for people, you're going to get buyers. My recommendation to you is focus on the acquisition of listings. Focus on those three important activities, which is lead generation, converting at the appointment, and negotiating the deal, and figure out a way to build infrastructure to, number one, get a transaction coordinator, right? Someone that helps you do the paperwork. I would say go overseas, Colombia, Venezuela, very, very good and highly trained people that speak English and Spanish, and they're not expensive. Or find someone in your local market that'll do it on a per deal basis if you don't have money up front to pay a salary. They only get paid on a per deal basis. And that means that you're the one structuring the offer, structuring the terms, doing the negotiating. They're the ones fulfilling. They're the ones sending the email, sending out all the important contract dates, sending out the revisions, getting all the signatures. You're the one doing the communication with the client and actually structuring the deal. They're the ones fulfilling the paperwork. I would highly, highly recommend you get that part of your business like delegated, and you don't have to be making a certain amount of money to do that. Just do it right away so that you can free up time to prospect more sellers. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, something that I had in my career was a very, very good showing agent. I usually had 2 or 3 people that I trusted, but I had one really, really trustworthy person that I trained personally. I showed them how to do showings. I showed them how to attend inspections. I showed them how to attend appraisals. And that person basically helped me fulfill the client while I was still the main person operating, negotiating, and getting that deal to the closing table. And what that allowed me to do was focus on the higher leverage activities, which was find new clients. If you're not consistently finding new clients on a daily basis, you don't have a business. You are being reactive like most realtors and waiting for a referral to come to you or waiting for someone to give you a lead. If you want to build predictable income in real estate, you have to be focused on the acquisition of new clients on a daily basis. And if you're taking up most of your hours on a weekly basis doing contracts, driving in the car, sitting in traffic, opening doors, and doing activities that have to get done operationally, if you're focusing most of your time on that, you're not focusing enough time on sales and marketing, which is what's going to move your business forward. Okay, so I'd highly recommend a showing agent. A couple different ways that you can do this is maybe, in the group chat of your local brokerage, you can find somebody, maybe there's a mentorship program in your brokerage, and you can find an agent that is hungry, young, and ready to learn. Offer them mentorship, offer them guidance in exchange for percentages of your deal, right? They can help you fulfill. You set that expectation with the client up front, and now you have more time to focus on prospecting, presenting, and negotiating. Something very important about being a listing agent is that your job is not to call buyers agents and reverse prospect. In my opinion, your job is to correctly set the expectation for your client, correctly price the property, correctly represent your client, meaning negotiate on their behalf, and let your marketing on the MLS and whatever other vehicles you choose, let that marketing do the work. You don't have to go out there and find the buyer. If you properly price the property, if you properly present it with the right photos and videos, and you create an infrastructure of agents, maybe through social media or emails that can view the home, and then when you get a call on that listing, if you're able to properly communicate, and I'll make an entire video on this, because a lot of listing agents don't know how to properly schedule showings. They don't know how to properly vet out buyers before going to the showings. And that's another thing that wastes a ton of time. When you get a phone call from a buyer's agent, it shouldn't be, hey, yeah, you can come show it, no problem. There should be a series of questions that you ask that buyer's agent before you even give them an opportunity to view your listing. You're qualifying them before. You should be doing a pre-inspection and a pre-appraisal on your property, and you should be communicating all the details of your home and your listing to the buyer's agent before you even do a showing to ensure the highest possibility of an offer being submitted so you're not wasting anybody's time. Okay, it's very important. A lot of your realtors right now are not making the money you want to make because number one, you're not focusing on real estate full time. Number two, you're focusing too much on the operational side of real estate and you're not leveraging other people to fulfill that for you so you can dedicate and focus more time on the acquisition of more clients. Not only that, but when you free up time on the operational side, you focus more on sales, you can perfect sales more. It's not just about watching trainings and making phone calls and going to presentations. It's about recording those phone calls, listening to those phone calls back, going to those presentations, listening to those presentations back. There's this great tool that I recommend to all my students. It's a Plod No Pin. You can have a necklace version of this, put it on your neck, record your cold calls. It AI transcribes it, it note takes, and you can record your listing presentations as well. And if you have time and you're not really doing the operational stuff because you have a transaction coordinator, maybe you went as far as getting a personal assistant and you have a showing agent doing the fulfillment for you, you have time to perfect your craft as a salesperson. You have time to listen to your phone calls and review them. You have time to go into a coaching program and better your skills. You have time to listen to your listing presentations and get better, okay? Most of you guys, it's a lead issue. Most of you guys don't have enough business because you don't have enough leads. And for those of you that have enough leads, they're probably not good enough and you're not speaking to them correctly. You're not asking the right questions. You're not setting the right expectations. And when you go into a presentation, you're not communicating the right way and you're losing the deal because you're not focused enough. You're doing too many things on the operational side, not enough things on the sales side. Okay? So to kind of summarize and wrap up this video, very, very highly recommend that you look into generating seller leads if you want to scale. If you want to be basically an employee of your own business and basically cap the amount of transactions that you can do, don't get a transaction coordinator, don't get a showing agent, only work with buyers, go to all your showings, sit in traffic, and don't listen to any of the advice I just gave you. But if you want to build a business that can grow month over month and year over year, you need to create an operation. You need to look at it as a business owner. You need to find leverage. You need to focus on the highest priority activities, which is generating new clients, right? Cold calling, open houses, door knocking, presenting to those clients, acquiring the actual client, saying, yes, you can work with me, seller or buyer, and then the negotiation of those clients. You don't have to be sitting in traffic at 4 p.m. typing on your computer, sending out an offer that's done through their phone. You need 3 key players: a personal assistant, a transaction coordinator, and a showing agent. And you can scale your business to $1 million a year in commission. Okay, for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Alexis Valladares. I coach real estate agents. I help them scale their lead generation specifically through cold calling. If you're curious on what that would look like for you, book a call below. Anybody that books a call with my team gets free scripts, free training videos that are very, very deep, that are not on YouTube, not on Instagram. And even if we can't work with you, I give you all of that for free. If you guys want more, there's a free school community where I have over 5,000 realtors just like you logged in. And if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. I post 3 times a week and I give you guys valuable insights on how you can scale your business as a real estate agent. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Let's go.